Hello, I'm Rick Huckstep. Not dissimilar to many motor vehicles and other bits of equipment, your high-powered rifle must be shot in, that is, run in. Even the highest of quality rifles may have burrs or blemishes on the bore, and those particular blemishes can pick up bits of carbon from burnt gunpowder, also lead and copper as the projectile passes through. By systematically cleaning and shooting, you will remove those burrs and you will end up with a rifle barrel that will be much more accurate over a longer period of time. That is, you'll get extended barrel life. Now, some rifles have a reputation of being very accurate straight out of the box, and this is one of those. It's a Tikka T3 Super Varmint. It's stainless steel barreled and it's also got the synthetic stock. Now we've got all that sitting on the Smart Reloader SR300. It's the bench rest of choice, and we've got a triple leg setup that's all adjustable so you can get it nice and level, also raise and lower and lock it off. And today we're using factory rounds. They're the Remington Premier Acca tip and they're a 50 grain projectile. Also, at this point of time, you may want to contemplate using two cleaning rods because we're going to be using a wire brush and we're going to be pushing patches through using a spear tip. So two rods will actually save you a bit of time chopping and changing between the tips. Having said that, cleaning rods should preferably be one piece, as you see here. Although when we travel, we tend to try and reduce the size of everything, and this is a multi-piece cleaning rod. The problem we've got with these is that because they've got a joint there can be a bit of flexing, and when it is flexed, you could expose a sharp shoulder, and when it goes through the bore, it could actually put nicks and other blemishes in the bore, the very things you're trying to get rid of. Now you'll be able to see here shortly that I've actually ground down with a burr remover some of the shoulders of these to prevent that problem happening. But in any case, if you are using a multi-piece rod, never push it through the bore, always pull it. Now that's going to change the way you set up your cleaning process. Now another item that I would recommend using is a bore guide. And this will actually help centre the rod as it goes down the bore, but it also stops the tips from scratching the chamber inside, and also it'll stop some of the chemicals running backwards and perhaps dropping down into the action and the tang. Simple and cheap, but it could increase the life of your rifle. As mentioned earlier, there's a number of different tips that you can use to clean your bore. You've got the standard bronze wire brush. Now it's very important that with these brushes, when they're attached and you push them down the bore, that you push them completely out the end of the bore or into the muzzle, depending on which way you're pushing, and then withdraw them. Don't stop halfway and come back out again, simply because it'll bend over those wire needles and possibly break them off. They won't probably get stuck in the bore, but then you have an uneven brush and it won't scrub properly. Also, we have the standard jag as well, and on that you push the patch and away you go. You can also get instead of a wire brush, you can get a nylon brush. I prefer the wire, it's just easier to look after. Now, go into your local gun shop and have a look at the big array of cleaning products on the cleaning station shelf there. There's any amount of it. There's dips, there's pastes, there's wire brushes, there's all sorts of things. One thing to remember though is that with ammonia-based product, it is corrosive, and if it's not completely removed from the barrel and from the action and other parts, it can eat away at the bore, can eat away at the rifling, and also the chamber where the projectile or the bullet slips into. It will also stain timber, ammonia-based products, and it will also stain stainless steel. So I prefer to use a petroleum-based product. This is HOPPES, H-O-P-P-E-S. The number 9 I use for cleaning out residue of powder, and HOPPES bench rest I use for cleaning out the copper. It's a copper solvent, gets rid of lead as well. So they're the safe bet for me, and probably the one I'd advise just at the outset. In any case, whether you go ammonia-based product or a petroleum-based product, always follow the directions on the container. Now, before firing your first shot in a brand new barrel, always run a dry patch through. That will ensure that any debris, sticks, dust, rubbish will be pushed out through the muzzle. Don't forget the bore guide. And when you push the patches, there's no need to rush, just push them slowly, and you can actually feel the actual cleaning rod swirl around as the patch goes through and follows the rifling. Bit of dust on that one. Keep that for the rubbish bag. With the first dry patch already run through, remove your bore guide. It's time to put the first round through. Magazine's inserted. A small amount of lube on the bolt. Metal against metal, we need to reduce the wear and tear. And now we're ready to chamber the first round. Our first round's been fired, we have to clear the firearm. Remove the bolt, drop the magazine out, check, chamber is clear. It's time for the first run through with a patch. Okay, you can see that I've actually set the rifle around in a different position with the muzzle facing down, and the reason being is that if there's too much solvent on perhaps the wire or even the patch, instead of it running back into the action and affecting that at a later date, it's going to run into the chamber or stay in the chamber and then run out the bore. I can push that out afterwards. So we've had our first shot, we've got our bore guide in place. We pick up first of all a dry patch, and with that we're going to push out any of the very loose material that's in there. Straight down the end, drop it off, no problems at all. Now these patches, if you can't get any of the right size, just buy oversized patches even for 12 gauge shotgun, and then cut them up to suit. Although that is, it's really nice having the convenience of having them pre-cut, and you know they're all going to be the right size. So we've got our number 9. So put the patch in. Remember not to push too quickly, we're not in a hurry, and you can feel that rod twisting as it follows the rifling around. Comes out the end and pull it and it drops straight off. Now you can leave that for a couple of minutes to get rid of some of the powder fouling inside. It's not a problem. You can leave it with hops, you can leave it overnight. It's not a problem at all. So we've let it have a little bit of a soak. Let's run another dry patch through. Bore guide's in place. Push it through. Feel it turn out the other side. Patch is discoloured. We've removed some material from the bore. That's great. Then what we're going to do is use some copper solvent. We need to get rid of any of the copper residue that's in there. You'll see I've got a towel on the table. That stops a lot of your cleaning tips rolling around, getting lost in the grass. The grass here is about 8 inches deep at the moment. So here we have the solvent. This is quite a bit stronger. Bore guide in place. And just gently push it and you'll feel it sliding down the bore all the way through. Pull it back out. Now you can leave that there for a little while. What we're going to do next though is run the wire through it, the wire brush, the bronze brush. And if you've been shooting quite heavily, perhaps even 20 rounds, and you haven't had a clean, you might want to actually leave it in there for a few hours if you're at the end of the shoot. And what I like to do is I like to push the brush in and out for each shot that I've had between cleans. Bearing in mind that you might only get 20 or 30 shots at a night, but it's definitely worth going right through this exercise to make sure that everything's scrubbed out nicely. So we've let it have a soak for a while. And this is the important one. We don't need to rush this, and we need to go all the way through. So you feel the resistance on the brush. There's quite a bit of resistance there. All the way through, don't stop, and then all the way back. And for each shot, I like to go in and out. Now, what you must take care of is the fact that these particular brushes, when they come back against the rifling, sometimes can partially unwind. And if they fully unwind on the next stroke and you haven't tightened it up, you might actually leave it in the bore. Then you're going to have to try and locate it with the thread and the female section on the push rod. Okay, we've had our first shot. After that first shot, we've put in a dry patch to get rid of the loose residue. Then we've gone with the hops number 9, gets rid of the powder residue, what's left of it. And once we've dry patched it again, we put in the hops bench rest, which is the copper solvent. And then we put the wire brush in, fully through and then fully out again. And then dry patched it, we're ready for the next shot. Now I prefer to shoot 10 rounds through and clean after each round. And then perhaps put through 5 in one hit, just to see how much residue is left. Now if you find that there's a lot left, and you're still getting a lot of copper and rubbish coming out of that barrel, it needs more treatment, so stay with it. In any case, you shouldn't go and fire another round until you've got it completely clean and those patches are coming out almost as if they went in. Now this is just but one method of running in a barrel, and like I said before, there are many out there and people will disagree with me, but at the end of the day it's had a good clean after each round, so I'm quite happy that the blemishes are gone out of here. Now it's just a matter of going out and enjoying it. One thing you will need to remember though, and that is it's a good idea not to dip metal brushes in your solvents, because any contaminates in there will end up contaminating the material you actually want to clean the rifle with. So that's one good point. Also, recap on that, keep the barrel down so that any of the extraneous type solvents that are not going down the barrel can at least stay in the chamber or somewhere down here until they are cleaned out. Also, it'll pay to remember to clean your cleaning rods, because they'll pick up residue out of the barrel, and if it's not cleaned off, what will happen is that it'll pick up dust, rubbish, could even start corroding, and the next time it goes down the bore you're going to have problems. So clean all the rubbish off before you store it away. Well, there's many ways, like I said, to run in a gun barrel. This was just about one of them, but it's the easiest one to recall, so I hope this video has helped you out. In the meantime, safe shooting. I'm Rick Huckstep.